Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On August 11th, 1492, Rodrigo de Borgia was elected Pope of the Catholic Church, taking the name Alexander VI. Serving until his death in 1503, Alexander's reign was one of corruption and depravity, so much so that a Showtime cable TV show was produced about him and his family from 2011 to 2013 called The Borgias. Although fictional, the show is based on many of the allegations against the Borgia family, including the Pope himself fathering several children via his many mistresses, reaping massive wealth while in office as a cardinal and then as Pope, nepotism, and a general lack of any moral principles. Born in Spain in 1431, Rodrigo became a Catholic Church officer by the age of 14. He also attended law school and became a doctor of law. With a cardinal for an uncle, Rodrigo's path to the papacy was paved with nepotism. On August 12, 2000, during the first major Russian naval exercise since the breakup of the USSR, the Russian Oscar II class cruise missile sub the Kursk blew up and sank in the Barents Sea, taking all 118 men aboard to their deaths. The investigation into the sinking found that a torpedo defect caused the initial explosion and subsequent fire that caused a second, much larger explosion that sank the sub. The second explosion seems to have been multiple other torpedo warheads detonating. Sadly, investigations showed 23 men survived the initial blast for about 6 hours until they tried to replace a potassium superoxide chemical oxygen cartridge, which they dropped into water in the compartment they were in, causing yet another explosion and fire, killing those remaining men. Do you think the Russian Navy is a threat to the U.S. Navy or NATO? On August 13, 1961, the Soviet occupiers of East Berlin tired of unhappy citizens of the communist workers' paradise, defecting to the West via West Berlin, and erected a barbed wire fence that would become infamous as the Berlin Wall. The Soviets and East Germans cordoned off West Berlin and began erecting a concrete wall complete with guard towers and barbed wire to prevent their citizens from fleeing to the West. The Berlin Wall stood as an icon of the Cold War between the democratic Western countries and the communist bloc, and in a way also a symbol of the failure of communism. Too many educated and valuable professionals were fleeing East Germany, and the brain drain had to be stopped. In November of 1989, the demolition of the wall began, but not before at least 140 people had been killed by border guards trying to cross the accursed wall. On August 14, 1851, John Henry Holliday was born in Griffin, Georgia. He would grow up to become a legend of the Wild West as Doc Holliday, a dentist-turned-gambler, gunman, and friend of Wyatt Earp. A participant in the most famous Western gunfight, Holliday was the son of a veteran of the Mexican-American War and the U.S. Civil War. His mother and brother both died of tuberculosis, a disease that would eventually take his life. Doc got his nickname when he graduated from the Pennsylvania College of Dental Surgery and became a dentist. He soon began getting in trouble with fighting and took up gambling as he went west, hooking up with prostitute Big Nose Kate. Holliday became friends with lawman Wyatt Earp and took part in the 1881 gunfight at the OK Corral. A veteran of numerous gunfights, Holliday is rumored to have killed Johnny Ringo in 1882 before finally dying. On August 15, 2015, North Korea changed its time to a self-appointed Pyongyang time, moving clocks backward a half hour to flout international time known as UTC. Playing with time is not the only odd choice by North Korea, called the Hermit Kingdom for keeping its population out of contact with the rest of the world in order to control information and thought. Since its establishment in 1948, North Korea has been a dictatorship by a single family, first by Kim Il-sung, then his son Kim Jong-il, and currently the next son in line, Kim Jong-un, in power since 2011. North Korea is a bombastic and bellicose country that has developed nuclear weapons and is working on the means to deliver them. Their leaders have made ridiculous claims such as inventing the hamburger, the cures for AIDS and Ebola, and not having to go to the bathroom. North Korea is also home to a genuine unicorn lair. On August 16, 1858, a date earlier than you may have thought, the advent of instant electronic communications between Europe and North America was inaugurated by President James Buchanan and Queen Victoria of the UK via the transatlantic cable. Prior to radio, television, and satellite, electric communication was done via the telegraph wire made of real metal that stretched from point to point. Cable men had the job of laying 2,500 miles of copper wire covered in gutta percha, hemp, and tar that weighed an imposing 1 ton plus per mile. The 1857 attempt failed, and the 1858 cable, successful at first, quickly failed in only a few weeks. The next effort was made in 1865, using the SS Great Eastern, the largest ship in the world at the time. Despite difficulties, by 1866 the job was done. On August 17, 1978, Ben Abruzzo, Maxie Anderson, and Larry Newman made ballooning history by becoming the first to pilot a manned balloon across the Atlantic Ocean, flying from Maine to France in the Double Eagle II, a helium balloon. Today we take a look at a few momentous balloon flights. On November 21, 1783, the first ever manned balloon flight took place in France when François Pilatre de Rosière and François Laurent took flight in a hot air balloon made by the Montgolfier brothers. In 1785, Jean-Pierre Blanchard and American John Jeffries made history in the first balloon to cross the English Channel. In 1960, Ed Yost made the first flight in a modern propane-fueled hot air balloon, starting a popular sport. And in 2002, Steve Fawcett made history by becoming the first to circumnavigate the globe in a balloon. Have you ever ridden in a balloon? As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.